What if some of the most powerful protein foods on Earth weren't found in the meat aisle at all? What if they were growing quietly in ponds, gardens, and fields while most people walked right past them? For thousands of years, entire civilizations relied on plants to build strength, fuel hard work, and survive difficult times. Some of these plants contain more protein than many meats, while others provide complete proteins with all 9 essential amino acids. Today, we'll explore 13 remarkable plants that challenge everything most people think they know about protein. When people think about protein, they usually picture steak, chicken, fish, or eggs. Yet, long before modern supermarkets existed, communities around the world were already growing protein-rich foods in their own fields and gardens. These plants fed farmers, warriors, travelers, and entire populations. Some have been forgotten. Others are only now being rediscovered by modern nutrition science. We begin with one of the strangest foods on this entire list, hash 1. Duckweed. Most people see duckweed and assume it's nothing more than pond scum. These tiny green plants float across the surface of still water, often ignored or even removed by pond owners. Yet hidden inside those small leaves is one of the most protein-dense foods nature has ever produced. Certain species of duckweed contain up to 40% protein by dry weight, placing them among the richest plant protein sources on Earth. For centuries, duckweed has been eaten in parts of Southeast Asia, particularly in Thailand and Laos, where it appears in soups and traditional dishes. More recently, scientists have become interested in its potential because it grows extremely fast while requiring very few resources. Some researchers have even explored duckweed as a possible food source for future space missions. What makes duckweed especially remarkable is that it contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein. It may look insignificant, but it represents a powerful reminder that nutrition can be found in unexpected places. And while duckweed grows quietly on the surface of ponds, the next plant has been growing across Mediterranean landscapes for thousands of years. Hash 2. Lupin beans. More than 3,000 years ago, farmers around the Mediterranean were already cultivating lupin beans. Ancient Romans ate them, Egyptian civilizations valued them, and generations of farmers relied on them long before protein powders existed. Yet today, many people have never even heard of them. Lupin beans contain an impressive amount of protein, often approaching the levels found in soybeans. They also provide fiber and important minerals while growing on beautiful flowering plants that naturally improve soil health. Traditional preparation required patience because the beans contained bitter compounds that needed to be removed through soaking and cooking. Once prepared, however, they became a satisfying and nutritious food. In many Mediterranean countries, lupin beans are still enjoyed as snacks, often served in brine and eaten by hand. Their story reminds us that some of the world's best protein foods never became global trends. They simply continued feeding communities generation after generation. And while lupin grows from the ground, the next protein source comes from a tree often called miraculous. Hash 3. Moringa. In many parts of Africa and Asia, moringa is known as the miracle tree. The name is not marketing hype. Nearly every part of the tree can be used, but its leaves are what attract the most attention. Rich in protein, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, moringa has helped support communities facing food shortages and difficult growing conditions. For generations, families harvested the leaves and added them to soups, stews, and traditional meals. Modern researchers continue studying moringa because of its remarkable nutritional profile. Dried moringa leaves contain significant amounts of protein along with nutrients that support overall health. One reason moringa became so valuable is its ability to thrive where many other crops struggle. It grows quickly, tolerates harsh conditions, and produces food throughout much of the year. In regions where reliable nutrition can be difficult to find, that combination makes a tremendous difference. But while moringa grows above the ground as a tree, the next plant gains its strength from roots that reach surprisingly deep below the surface. 4. Alfalfa. For thousands of years, farmers have called alfalfa the father of all foods. At first, that sounds like an exaggeration. After all, most people know alfalfa as animal feed rather than human food. But hidden inside this humble plant is a remarkable nutritional story. Alfalfa leaves contain impressive amounts of protein, along with vitamins and minerals pulled from deep beneath the soil. What makes alfalfa unique is its root system. Some roots can reach astonishing depths, drawing nutrients that many other plants simply cannot access. Traditional farmers may not have understood the science, but they noticed that animals fed on alfalfa often thrived. Eventually, people began eating the sprouts themselves. Today, alfalfa sprouts appear in salads and sandwiches around the world. They are easy to grow, quick to harvest, and surprisingly nutritious for such a delicate-looking plant. Yet while alfalfa grows quietly in fields, the next protein source has been feeding entire populations across Asia for more than 4,000 years. 5. Mung beans. Long before health food stores existed, mung beans were already earning a reputation as one of the easiest legumes to digest. Cultivated in India for thousands of years, these small green beans became a staple food throughout Asia because they were nutritious, filling, and gentle on the stomach. Unlike some legumes that require lengthy cooking and can cause digestive discomfort, mung beans are often considered easier to tolerate. When sprouted, they become even more interesting. The sprouting process increases certain nutrients and transforms the beans into crisp shoots that appear in countless Asian dishes. Generations of families relied on mung beans during times when food needed to be affordable, dependable, and nourishing. Modern nutrition science continues to appreciate their combination of protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Sometimes the best foods are not the newest discoveries. They are the foods that have survived thousands of years of daily use. And while mung beans helped feed families throughout Asia, the next plant once helped sustain one of the most powerful civilizations in the Americas. 6. Amaranth. More than 500 years ago, amaranth was one of the most important crops in the Aztec world. It was so highly valued that it played a role not only in nutrition, but also in ceremonies and cultural traditions. Entire communities depended on it. What made amaranth special was its versatility. The seeds provided a protein-rich grain, while the leaves could also be eaten as a vegetable. Unlike many grains, amaranth contains a more balanced amino acid profile, making it particularly valuable in traditional diets. Modern researchers continue studying amaranth because of its protein quality, mineral content, and ability to grow in hot, dry conditions where many crops struggle. Even today, it remains a resilient food capable of thriving in challenging environments. Perhaps the most remarkable thing about amaranth is that it survived. Despite periods when cultivation declined dramatically, people continued growing it, preserving knowledge that stretched back centuries. Mid-hook, if these plants seem impressive, we've only scratched the surface. The next foods helped support entire civilizations, fueled explorers and farmers, and continue feeding millions of people today. Some of them may already be sitting in your pantry right now. 7. Hemp seeds. Few plants have experienced a stranger journey than hemp. For thousands of years, it was grown for food, fiber, rope, and countless practical uses. Then, for decades, much of the world stopped talking about it altogether. Yet throughout that time, hemp seeds remained one of nature's most complete nutritional packages. Hemp seeds contain an impressive amount of protein, along with omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. More importantly, they provide all 9 essential amino acids, making them a complete protein source. That is a rare achievement in the plant world. Their mild, nutty flavor makes them easy to add to smoothies, yogurt, oatmeal, or salads. Today, hemp is making a comeback as people rediscover what previous generations already knew. Sometimes, valuable foods disappear from public attention without ever losing their nutritional value. And while hemp has been making a comeback, the next food never really disappeared at all. #8. Lentils. If one food deserves the title of the food that fed empires, it may be lentils. Archaeologists have found evidence of lentil cultivation dating back more than 10,000 years. They appear in some of humanity's earliest farming communities and continue to feed millions of people today. Lentils became popular for a simple reason. They worked. They were easy to store, relatively quick to cook, and packed with protein and fiber. During difficult seasons, a sack of lentils could help sustain a family for months. Modern nutrition researchers continue studying legumes because of their role in supporting heart health, digestion, and long-lasting energy. Ancient people knew nothing about dietary guidelines, but they understood reliability. Lentils earned their place on dinner tables because they consistently delivered nourishment. And if lentils represent simplicity, the next food may be the most versatile legume ever cultivated. #9. Chickpeas. Few foods have traveled across as many cultures as chickpeas. For more than 7,000 years, these humble legumes have appeared in kitchens throughout the Middle East, the Mediterranean, India, and beyond. Entire culinary traditions were built around them, from hummus and falafel to stews, soups, and roasted snacks. What makes chickpeas remarkable is not just their protein content, but their versatility. They can be eaten whole, mashed into spreads, ground into flour, or roasted into crunchy snacks. Few plant foods adapt so easily to different cuisines and lifestyles. Researchers continue studying chickpeas because they provide protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals in a package that is both affordable and satisfying. Throughout history, they earned a reputation as a food that could feed large families without requiring great wealth. And while chickpeas became famous for their versatility, the next food often ends up thrown away despite being one of the most nutritious parts of the plant. #10. Pumpkin seeds. Every autumn, millions of pumpkins are carved, decorated, and displayed. Yet, hidden inside each pumpkin is a food far more valuable than most people realize. Pumpkin seeds are nutritional powerhouses packed with protein, healthy fats, magnesium, zinc, and iron. Indigenous peoples of North America understood their value long before nutrition labels existed. The seeds were collected, dried, roasted, and stored as an important food source. Nothing was wasted because every part of the harvest mattered. Today, pumpkin seeds remain one of the easiest protein-rich snacks available. They are portable, shelf-stable, and easy to add to salads, yogurt, oatmeal, or trail mixes. Their mild flavor makes them surprisingly versatile. But while pumpkin seeds have been nourishing people for centuries, the next food helped entire northern civilizations survive long winters. #11. Oats. For generations, oats were considered the food of farmers, laborers, and hard-working families. In places like Scotland and Northern Europe, oats became a staple because they could thrive in cool, wet climates where many other crops struggled. Unlike many grains, oats provide a notable amount of protein, while also supplying a special type of soluble fiber known as beta-glucan. Modern researchers continue studying this fiber because of its association with heart health and long-lasting satiety. What makes oats especially interesting is their staying power. They provide steady energy rather than the quick rise and fall associated with many processed foods. That reliability helped make them a cornerstone of traditional diets for centuries. And while oats helped support generations across Europe, the next grain was once considered sacred by an entire empire. 12. Quinoa, high in the Andes Mountains, long before modern agriculture spread across the globe. Quinoa helped sustain one of the most remarkable civilizations in history. The Inca people valued it so highly that it became known as the mother grain. What sets quinoa apart is its protein quality. Unlike most grains, quinoa contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it one of the few plant foods considered a complete protein. For communities living in challenging mountain environments, that nutritional advantage mattered enormously. Quinoa also provides minerals such as magnesium and iron, along with fiber and antioxidants. Its ability to grow in harsh conditions helped make it an indispensable crop throughout the Andes. Today, quinoa has become popular around the world, but its story stretches back thousands of years. Long before it appeared on health food shelves, it was already feeding empires. And that brings us to the final plant on our list, a crop so protein-rich that it continues to dominate conversations about plant-based nutrition. 13. Soybeans. If there is a king of plant protein, soybeans may wear the crown. For more than 5,000 years, they have been cultivated throughout East Asia and transformed into foods ranging from tofu and tempeh to miso, soy milk, and edamame. What makes soybeans remarkable is not only the amount of protein they contain, but also its quality. Soy provides all 9 essential amino acids, placing it among the most complete plant protein sources available. Entire cultures built sophisticated food traditions around this single crop, creating hundreds of different ways to prepare and enjoy it. Modern research continues examining soy because of its protein content and nutritional value. Yet, long before laboratories existed, families across Asia had already recognized its importance through everyday experience. Perhaps that is the greatest lesson from this entire list. The world's most powerful protein foods are not new discoveries. Many have been feeding people for thousands of years. Ending. When most people think about protein, they think about meat. But history tells a much larger story. Across continents and across centuries, communities relied on plants to build strength, support hard work, and sustain entire populations. Some grew in ponds. Others grew in deserts, mountains, forests, and fertile valleys. Together, they prove that protein can come from far more places than most people imagine. What is most remarkable is that many of these foods are still available today. Duckweed, moringa, lentils, quinoa, hemp, chickpeas, pumpkin seeds, oats, and soybeans are not relics of the past. They remain valuable sources of nutrition in the modern world. Perhaps the future of food is not about discovering something entirely new. Perhaps it is about rediscovering the plants that have been quietly nourishing humanity all along.